Okay, today we're going to be looking at narrating stories about your family or your foster family. I don't know who you live with. I don't know if you're going to try and tell the truth, or if you're going to make something up, or if you're going to treat this as just an exercise in doing some nice Spanish. Obviously it's lovely if you can talk about the real you, but also that's none of my business. I just want to see some great Spanish for the exam. And this is what will get you into the top bands, being able to not just say what you like and don't like and what you can do and you can't do, but turn things into a story. So, this is the list from last week. Ayudar en la cocina, hacer tareas domésticas, salir juntos, ir de vacaciones, cuidar a alguien, coger mis cosas sin preguntar, ver la televisión, bailar en el salón, ayudar con los deberes, pedir prestados sus zapatos, saltar en la cama elástica, entrar en mi habitación, cantar en la ducha, comprar regalos, llevarme a Norwich, comer como un cerdo, esconder el mando a distancia, lavar y planchar la ropa, tirar papeles en el piso, hacer mucho ruido, coleccionar dinosaurios de plástico, obligarme a lavar detrás de las orejas. ¿Qué más? Hacer olores feos, cenar, fregar los platos, poner los platos en el lavaplatos. And you used some of those last time in little translations and some sentences, and you can look and see what you put, because it's going to be useful again. Definitely one lesson leads to the next. So first thing today, tengo que, which you all know means I have to. So lots of these things you're going to copy into this box. Do write them out nicely in sentences. Don't just do lines or numbers or something. I want you to start writing them out and thinking and remembering. Tengo que ayudar a mi hermano con los deberes. Tengo que lavar y planchar la ropa. You could change some of them to no tengo que if you don't have to do the washing and ironing. Me gusta, and then all the things that you like. Or puedo, things that you can do, things that you get to do. They can go in there. You might need a bigger space than this. No puedo, me gustaría, things you can't do, things you would like to be able to do. There's always a story there, isn't there, when there's conflicts between what you would like to do and what you can't do and what you want to do. A mi hermano le gusta, a mi hermana le gusta. You might need to change it to hermanastro, or you might put someone's name in there. Okay, the name of the person, get rid of the me as well. A Henry le gusta. Don't forget the le though, because it's to my brother, it is pleasing to him, remember. Okay? If you want to change it to brothers and sisters, then a mis hermanos les gusta. It is pleasing to them. Or mi madre prefiere, mi padre prefiere, mi hermano prefiere, because that's just OSE for he or she prefers. They prefer OSE. Hemos es en, prefieren, if you wanted to make it plural, but you know these things. But take them out of here and put them in here. I haven't gone for my mum prefers me to, because you can't say my mum prefers me. So mi madre prefiere que, and then you'd have to use the subjunctive with the opposite ending. If you're happy with that, put some in. I'm leaving it out for now. No me gusta cuando. This does need changing, because obviously this is to do something, to make horrible smells. I don't like it when my brother makes horrible smells. O, as, a. That's not an AR verb, it's an ER. O, es, e. No me gusta cuando mi hermano hace. You can just get rid of the R and have makes. So you can't put my brother to make. Okay? That's your first job. If you want to pause and do that now, that's great. Number 2, here's a story, in inverted commas. It's quite a nice story. We'll do better, but we're not going to do worse. Me gusta ver la televisión con mi familia, porque si veo una película, prefiero verla en la televisión y no en mi móvil. Pero a mi padre no le gusta ver películas, prefiere ver el deporte. Entonces ayer veía Coches 3 y mi padre quería ver el fútbol, entonces escondí el mando a distancia. Mi padre dijo, no quiero ver esa película. Tienes que ayudar a tu madre en el jardín. And that apparently is a story. So an opinion, well, you'll find several opinions and you'll highlight them in yellow. Or if you've printed this out, then I don't know what you'll do, annotate it. An if sentence, make sure you find it. And I ran out of highlight colours because there's only so many highlight colours that I've got. So if will be obvious and speech will be obvious. When this happened, you're looking for a word like yesterday, at the weekend, Tuesday. Right, give an opinion, use an if sentence, give someone else's opinion. That's what sets up the conflict. I like this, but they like that. Okay. And then what they say when it happened, you've always got to do that with a story. And then you set the scene, what was happening. You're looking for something with aba, if it's an AR verb. But watch out, if it's an ER verb or an IR, it will be iya. So look carefully for that. And then say what the person did, either I did or he did or they did, what happened. So you're looking for it, if it's thinny, or it could be I, if it's baby, or an ERIR verb, or even some of these a strong preterite, like, you know, tuve and dije. So we'll just watch out. What they did, and then some speech to bring it to life. All those things are in there, and you're going to find them and annotate them. Then it says translate into English just in case, which means just in case you don't completely understand it, because it's always nice to find out and go, I need to ask Sir what that word means, or why has ver changed into veo with a o on the end. To be honest, you could look on your Damien sheet and you'll find o is a present tense ending for an ER verb for the first person, so I, and you know ver. Right, I will stop giving you too much help. Number 4, you're going to choose by the way, pause and do that. Number 4, like the way I paused. Choose 4 things from the list that will make a good story. And then, obviously, you might change some, you might only use 3, you might need a 5th as your story evolves. So, you know, to make ugly smells, I've already mentioned, is an excellent one, especially if you have a brother, he said, being very sexist. Plastic dinosaurs is in there somewhere, isn't there, and all sorts of stuff. Try and find things that could be, I like this, but they like that, I was doing this, he did that, and because you know what sort of story he's going to make. And then, of course, they all end in AR, ER, and IR, which is absolutely fine for the I like, and the he likes, and the I can, and the I would like, and I don't like it. No, my brother doesn't like. Okay? But as soon as you're going to say what was happening, you're going to need to change the ending. Probably one thing. You're going to say one thing was happening, and then lots of things happened in a minute. So, it is the imperfect. It will be on your Damien sheet. It will end in aba, or abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban, depending on the person. Or, if it's an ER-IR, it will end in iya. If you know it, go for it. If you don't know it, for goodness sake, look on your sheet. Write it here, now. Because you'll need it later, but let's have it ready. Okay, you can pause. And now we'll move on. So you'll also need the what happened. Presumably, if you've chosen 4 verbs, it's the other 3. Now, if it's I, it's going to end in e, like nade, I swam. Or if it's ERIR, it will be I, like bebi, comi, I ate, I drank. If it's we, it'll end in amos, or it'll end in imos. But you might be saying he did something, she did something, or even they did. So you'll need to look for those on the Damien sheet, not forgetting the, you've got to find the right one for the preterite, you've got to find AR, E or IR, and then find the right person. Okay, and write those here now. When you've done that, you're ready to write your story. And you're going to follow this recipe. I like to, thing I have previously chosen, especially if I can something with my family in the sitting room when it is raining, if I don't have any homework. And, or actually probably but, because if conflict is involved it's more of a story, but my brother, my step-brother, person with a name, prefers to... At the weekend, on Tuesday, yesterday, once upon a time, something was happening. Using aba or ia, this verb you've chosen here. Don't forget to say who was doing it. And then but, and then say what happened using these verbs here. Maybe you did some, maybe they did some, maybe we did some, it's all of it. And then put some speech in at the end to make it feel like a real story. And your speech can just be, I want, I can't, I don't like, you have to. Okay? And then I would like you to highlight in your story you've written where these things are, so you can check. And then write me another one. In fact, you can write me as many as you like. This is super important for your exam. I don't know if you're going to, once you've got me to check them, learn them off by heart, so that when I say, oh, tell me about your family in the exam, you can go, oh, thank you for asking that, well, and come out with the whole story. Or if you're going to get so good at it, you can just make them up. Actually, I know the right answer to that question. You're going to do both. You're going to have some learnt, and then in the exam you might use those, or you might make up some new ones, because you'll be so good you could do either or both. Okay? And remember the kids at football training. They don't like the ordinary passing the ball backwards and forwards, making sure you control the ball properly and pass it back. They want to do the fancy stuff. It's the fancy stuff that makes you look good. That's what this is. Okay, it's actually made up of lots of little bits of stuff that you've been practicing for years. That's why we've been doing it. But just this whole thing of putting it all together as a move that puts the ball in the back of the net and makes the other team look embarrassed and makes you look good, this is the bit you want to be good at. This is the bit you want to show off. Make a super job of it for me. Lovely.